Hello students, how are you all? Hope all of you are well. Actually, today we are going to discuss class 8 science chapter number 4 metals and non-metals. In the previous video, I had explained you about all the physical properties. Can you tell me what are the physical properties of metal and non-metal? I had described you, I had given you homework also to write the difference between the physical properties of metal and non-metal, as about the hardness, means physical states of matter. After then I informed you about that ductility, sonorous, tensile strength, many more things I have described you about the physical properties of matter. In this video we are going to describe about the chemical properties of matter. Chemical properties means the reactions of metal and non-metals, means as the reaction will occur in metal and non-metal, what they will give product. What is reaction? Reaction means when they are treated with either acid or base or any other chemicals, after treatment which type of product they give. So these things we are going to discuss today in this video. So let's start the chemical properties of metal and non-metal. The first chemical properties is reaction with oxygen. When any metal reacts with oxygen, it gives metal oxide. What it gives? Metal oxide. When metal reacts with any metal reacts with oxygen, it gives oxides of that metal. Some of the metals are very reactive, like sodium and potassium. These two metals, as they react with oxygen or they react with their oxide, it gives metallic oxide. As for example, sodium reacts with oxygen, gives you sodium oxide. Potassium reacts with oxygen, gives you potassium oxide. As I have already informed you, these two metals are highly reactive. Highly reactive means they catch fire easily. So when they come in the contact of air, they get fire. So remember, dear students, these two metals, especially sodium and potassium, when they react with oxygen, they give fire. They produce a fire that is called oxides of that metal. That is only called combustion. Combustion means reaction with oxygen. Got it? So let's start reaction with oxygen. I will tell you some of the elements, how do they react with oxygen and what happens. First of all, in the notebook, what you have to write? You have to just write metal plus oxygen is equal to metallic oxide, and some of the reaction you have to write in your notebook. As I have already told you, metal, this is any metal, not one metal or two metal, any metal I have told you, metal plus oxygen is equal to metallic oxide. What is equal to? Metallic oxide, or you can say metal oxide, any metal, okay? So metal oxide. If I inform you about that any reactive or unreactive, this is OXID, okay? Oxide, metal oxide. Got it? So can you tell me any metal name or non-metal name which I can react with oxygen, and which type of oxide are they giving? If I talk about the sodium metal, when they react with oxygen, they gives you sodium oxide, Na2O. To balance the reaction, what we have to do? Here 2 oxygen, so total 4 sodium, 4. This is the first reaction. Got it? You can write this reaction in your notebook. After then, if I talk about the magnesium, any metal you can take. Magnesium plus oxygen, it gives you magnesium oxide, MgO. Here 2 oxygen is there, so as we have to do here 2 MgO, here also 2. Now we are moving towards the third reaction. Any metal plus oxygen gives you metallic oxide. Sulfur plus oxygen, S plus O2 gives you SO2. This is called sulfur dioxide. This is sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, sulfur dioxide. There are many metals which will directly react with oxygen and give you oxide. Similarly, if we talk about the non-metals also reacts with, so sulfur is a non-metal only, so sulfur plus oxygen is equal to sulfur dioxide. Okay, so any other, carbon plus oxygen is equal to carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon plus oxygen is equal to carbon dioxide. Nitrogen plus oxygen is equal to nitrogen dioxide. So these are all the things you are saying, S, C, and these all are coming in non-metals. Correct? So here you can see Metal reacts with oxygen to give metallic oxide or metal oxide. Similarly, non-metal reacts with oxygen to give non-metallic oxides or dioxides, you can say. Got it? So here the first reactions were metal plus oxygen is equal to metal oxide. You can write these things in your notebook. And after the second point is our when metal reacts with water. Water means H2O. When any metal reacts with water, what do it gives? When metal reacts with water, it gives hydroxide of it. What it gives? Hydroxide. But when any this non-metallic dioxide react with acid, they react with water, they gives you what they gives you, know? They gives you acid. So when metal reacts with water, metal reacts with water. Second topic is our when metal reacts with water, it gives metallic hydroxide or metal hydroxide. Metal hydroxide. Hydroxide means OH. As for example, if we talk about the potassium, when the potassium reacts with water, it gives you KOH. What it gives you? KOH. What is this KOH? KOH means potassium hydroxide. So if we want to balance the reaction, and they also release the gas called hydrogen. This hydrogen is released into the atmosphere. So when the potassium is specially kept into the water, potassium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas, and heat is also known. Means just I am telling you the reaction. How do this reaction takes place? As you keep potassium piece into the water, it takes a fire, it becomes potassium hydroxide, hydrogen gas is released, a lot of heat is evolved outside in the atmosphere. This reaction is also called exothermic reaction. What is called? Exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction means a reaction in which heat is evolved outside. Evolved means getting outside. When heat is getting outside, that reaction is called exothermic reaction. And when heat is getting inside, it is called endothermic reaction. In any reaction, when heat is evolved, evolved means getting outside. In any reaction, when heat is evolved, is called exothermic reaction. And any reaction in which heat is involved, INVOLVED, is called endothermic. And EVOLVED, evolved, is called exothermic. What is involved, endothermic, and involved and what I have said you? When any reaction gives out the heat, that is called exothermic. Evolve the heat is called exothermic, and when it's involved the heat, it's called endothermic. So this reaction, potassium plus water, is exothermic reaction. Got it? Now you can take any other. As for example, if I talk about the calcium, when the calcium reacts with water, it gives you calcium hydroxide. What it gives you? Calcium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. If you want to balance the reaction here, see here there will be here 4H2O. So total 2 plus 2 here. Now here 2K. This is your balance reaction. Now here you can see Ca plus H2O is equal to CaOH whole twice plus H2. If you want to balance the reaction, here just you have to do. Now if I talk about the non-metals, like sulfur plus oxygen will give sulfur dioxide. When this sulfur dioxide reacts with water, these dioxides, then what they will give, you know? They will give sulfurous acid. SO2 reacts with H2O. H2O. It gives H2SO3. Sulfurous acid. What it gives? Sulfurous acid. When this carbon dioxide reacts with water, H2O, it gives H2CO3. Carbonic acid. What it gives? Carbonic acid. When this nitrogen gas reacts with water, it gives HNO3. What it gives? Nitric acid and evolutions of hydrogen. Generally understand, we have to just balance the reaction. So it gives us acid. When non-metal reacts, these are non-metals and these are metals. When non-metals react with water, they gives you acid. But when metal reacts with water, it gives you metal hydroxide plus hydrogen and plus evolution of heat. So you can see when metal reacts with oxygen, it gives you metallic oxide. That is called combustion process. Oxygen reaction means combustion. Combustion means burning. When any metal is burned, it gives you metallic oxide. and when any non-metal is burned, then it gives you dioxides. Okay, and when any metal is reacted or treated with water, it gives hydroxide, and when any non-metal is created with water, generally non-metal do not react with water. That is why we save to store phosphorus, which burns spontaneously in air and water. But here if I talk about, generally if I talk about, so these gases reaction, these non-metal do not react with water. Remember this word, that non-metal generally do not react with water because it especially catch fire very easily. So this dioxide is not non-metal, you can directly say it's non-metal. So as this non-metal do not react with water, that is why we have to keep safe to store phosphorus, which burns spontaneously in air and water. Now we will move towards the acids. Okay, so as you can see here, metal reacts with water to give metallic hydroxide, metal reacts with oxygen to give metallic oxide. If you have any doubt related to these reactions, then you can drop your doubt into the comment box table. Now we will move towards the metal and non-metal reacts with acid. Generally remember, non-metals do not react with acid, but if we talk about the metal reacts with acid to give metallic salt plus water. Metal reacts with acid to give metallic salt. When metal is react with acid, it gives salt plus hydrogen. Metal reacts with acid, it gives salt plus hydrogen. Salt plus hydrogen. As for example, if I talk about any reaction, just suppose that sodium is a metal which reacts with hydrochloric acid. It gives you sodium chloride plus hydrogen gas. Got it? If I talk about magnesium reacts with sulfuric acid, H2SO4, it gives magnesium sulfate plus hydrogen gas. So you can see, when if we want to balance this reaction, here 2 will come, here 2 will come, and 2NaCl plus H2. So you can see, when metal reacts with acid, it gives you this metallic salt. These are metallic salt. So sodium chloride is sodium salt, magnesium sulfate is magnesium salt. So they gives us salt plus hydrogen. When any metal reacts with acid, they gives you salt plus water. But if I talk about the non-metal do not react with acid. Sulfur reacts with hot concentrated, it becomes sulfuric acid, nitric acid. Means generally remember, they are non-metal do not react with acid. Sulfur reacts with hot concentrated nitric acid to form pungent smelling sulfur dioxide, brown fumes of nitrogen dioxide and water. Now if I talk about when metal reacts with base. So you have seen here, metal reacts with acid, give metallic salt and hydrogen. Now as the metal reacts with base, what happens? Metal like aluminium, lead, tin, zinc react with the sodium hydroxide to liberate hydrogen gas. So non-metal also react with base, but the reactions are complicated. Okay, so this was our especially about the reactions base. If I talk about metal reacts with base, then what happens? Special metals are there. Generally metals like aluminium, lead, tin, if they react with sodium hydroxide to liberate hydrogen gas. Metal plus base. Just suppose aluminium is there. Okay, aluminium reacts with potassium hydroxide, so it gives you Al2OH thrice. Okay, plus hydrogen gas. They evolve the hydrogen gas also. If just suppose about the sodium hydroxide, not potassium, because potassium hydroxide is very reactive, then it gives you sodium aluminate, NaAl2NOH3, sodium aluminate. No problem. Sodium aluminate. Plus hydrogen gas. Special metals means complex plus hydrogen gas. So you have seen this, as the metal reacts with base, it gives a complex, means complicated. You can just sodium aluminate. What it gives when the aluminum reacts with sodium hydroxide? It gives sodium aluminate. Its name is sodium aluminate. Sodium aluminate plus hydrogen gas. Okay, got it? Similarly, when it reacts with non-metal, also react with base, but it is complicated. Non-metal reacts with base, then it is very complicated. Then the reaction is complicated. Means you should know about the reactivity series. Now I will show you one figure about the reactivity series. You have to just look this reactivity series table, and after then we'll go ahead. You can see here, this is the reactivity series. First is potassium, sodium, lithium, barium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum, manganese, zinc, chromium, iron, cadmium, cobalt, nickel, tin, lead, hydrogen, mercury, gold, silver, platinum. You can see here metal react with acid, metals with especially with the stream, with acids, and the metals do not react with acid. So lower, higher, and this is the metal reactivity series. Okay. So as we have completed, now if I talk about this all the reactions of metal and non-metal, especially about the oxygen and water and acid and base. In the next video we'll discuss about the uses of metal, corrosions of metal, and menu. That's all for today. I hope all of you have understand. If you are having any doubt, please drop your doubt into the comment box section. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. If you want to take a screenshot, you can. Thank you very much.